Hello everyone, welcome back to Mix Plus TV. Hope you're having a great day from me and Pinhead. Mixing room is coming together slowly. You will see it soon, hopefully. But here we are with another question and answer, rapid fire. This one is about master bus routing, actually my master bus routing, because someone noticed, actually a lot of people notice it, that I route my master bus and my mix bus in a weird way for people who are not familiar with my methods. So let me describe you what I do and why I do it. For replying the question, check the info box down below for my mixing courses, plugin discounts. If you want to support the channel, we have t-shirts, Patreon, all that. All right, let's go to the screen on Pro Tools and I'll show you. Okay, so the question about my weird two-bus routing come from both the people who got my mixing courses and also from you guys from the videos on YouTube, because when the screen capture my two-bus, this is usually what you see. You see a mix bus track with all the processing on it and a master fader. Let's start by saying what this mix bus track is. It looks like a master fader, but it's not. It's just an aux track. Let me show you. So I usually create a stereo aux track, and it's green when you create it. Call it mix bus. In this case, mix bus 2, because we already have one. And I just make it red. So this alone will probably clarify a lot of things, because it looks like a master fader, but it's not. It's an aux track. And I'll explain you why. Then I solo save it, because from now on, this will be my master fader. It will be my main output. Now, I created this new track, and you see the output is automatically routed to the mix bus. But this is just a setting, a default setting that I have in my iOS, because when I create a new track in the project, I don't want to make a mistake and forget to route it to my main output, which is the mix bus. Otherwise, Pro Tools will automatically route the output to the main output, which is instead, you can see here in the project mix bus track, the output is routed to a physical output, to my physical main output. And the input of the mix bus aux track is routed to the mix bus, okay? So we can delete this one. So at this point, all the tracks in the projects are going to the mix bus, as if it was my master fader. Okay, and by all the tracks, I don't mean every single track, because if you know my methods, I group things together. So for example, you can see them color coded. The green tracks are all drums, and this black aux track, again, is a group track, is where all the drums track go. This drum bus goes to the mix bus. Same for the bass, the dark red one, they all go to the bass output, and this black bass aux track goes to the mix bus. Synths, same thing. The synths black aux track goes to the mix bus. Why do I do this? Because in this way, first of all, when I scroll through the project, every time I see, no matter what the color coding is, every time I see a black track, that's my main group. That's one instrument. It could be drums, it could be bass, it could be vocals, it could be guitar. So for example, this track. That's the whole drum. I don't have to single mute, every single tracks. I don't have to group them. I don't have to do anything else. And all these groups are, of course, solo saved. So if I want to mute a single track, I can also do it, and everything else will keep going to the drum bus. Bass, same thing. Okay, so every track goes to the mix bus. On the mix bus, I have the processing. And then we have the master fader, and that's where people get confused. The master fader, its output is routed to the mix bus input. Why is that? Let me show you why. So if I turn the fader of the master fader down, take a look at the mix bus meter and the master fader meter. Okay, so the master fader right now is pre-mix bus, and it's pre all the processing that I have on the mix bus. If I route my master fader as Pro Tools does by default to the main output, you see, the output is muted now, but the signal is still going into the mix bus. Why do I do this? Because in this way, if I route it to the mix bus, I can use my master fader as a VCA track. So I can control how much I want to push my mix into my 2-bus chain, whether it's plugin, whether it's my hardware, and usually it is my hardware. Okay, and I can automate this and see the automation. The reason why I do it this way is because, remember, if we take a look at the SSL-G on the master fader, okay, so if I turn the fader down, no signal is going to the SSL, the first slot on the master fader. The master fader on Pro Tools is the only track that has the fader pre-insert, while instead any other track, if we open the SSL on the mix bus and we touch the fader, you see the SSL, the signal is still going there. The fader is post-insert. That's why I use the master fader that way. And I have a video on how to give your mix more movement, more dynamics, even if it's heavily compressed. And in that video, I explained there are 2 easy ways. You can automate the master output, you know, chorus versus macro automation 1-2 dB, or you can do it this way. You can automate, in my case, I use the master fader to push your mix into your 2-bus chain. So at that point, it's not really a matter of output level, it's more a matter of aggressiveness. What you have on your 2-bus, of course, affect that. I usually mix into my Neves, which is a saturator, into a compressor, into a colored EQ. So I use the master fader just to do that, to drive my mix into my 2-bus chain without changing really the level, because at least I have a compressor on the 2-bus all the time. So even if it's a 2 dB rise, let's say, in level with my master fader, it's not gonna be 2 dB output. You know, it's just gonna drive 2 dB more into the compressor and compress a little more. So that's my main reason to use this kind of routing. The second reason, or third, I lost track, it's because from the mix bus, with all my 2-bus processing, I can print my mix inside the session instead of bouncing, okay? So in this case, let's say, you can see usually is this light blue color, my print is that light blue color. What I do is I take a send out of my my mix bus, I put it pre-fader, and I assign to my print mix track the same bus 1 and 2. I give an output, whatever output that I'm not using, mute it just to be safe, and print my mix. And it's because it's pre-fader, I can even mute it and it will still print. And it will still print with all my 2-bus processing, okay? So that's very handy if I have to stop because I have to do a last minute tweak on the mix or automate an effect or whatever. I can stop and then punch in. I don't have to do like another full pass. Also, another reason why I like to print on the session is because I usually am asked to do different versions, stems, TV version, radio version, stream version, acapellas, instrumentals, whatever. So this way I want my print track where I can do playlist. So I'll reprint a little snip right now, and so I can put my playlist tracks and have all the stems and all the different versions. I make sure they're the same length if they have to be the same length. So I have everything here. And I can go back, punch in. It just gives me more flexibility for both printing and for processing, for 2-bus processing, okay? I think this is it. I hope this answered the question about my weird routing on the 2-bus. So it makes sense, I hope. If you have any question, I'm expecting you guys to have some. Leave it in the comment down below. I hope this video was useful. I hope you liked it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like. Check the info box down below for my mixing courses. For plugin discounts, we have great deals in there. If you want to support MixBus TV, grab a t-shirt, we have some there. Follow MixBus TV on Facebook and Instagram because there's a lot of big news coming up. We are going to do a lot more live stream Q&As because you guys like those. Bella is gonna be back in some of them. So thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time.